Okay, so hey people, welcome to this is the third episode of our podcast. So and today we're going to be discussing about a few topics. We'll be continuing a little bit on the discussion about Android versus Apple or Samsung versus Apple because we had this we had the need to discuss a little bit further on that.
Yeah, that was a very requested topic. I don't know. The few fans we have requested the topic.
yes. We had some requests, so we'll be continuing that, and then we'll be talking mainly regarding more telco-based topics regarding Huawei, regarding some things that the TRC, the Telecommunications Regulation Commission, right, in Sri Lanka is doing in the future. So these are some of the things that we'll be discussing. After that, if we have time, we'll be going into few, I don't know, trending topics which we can find on Reddit. That's what we're gonna do. So
right, which one should we start from?
I mean, as Samsung versus Apple is something that we needed to go on. Let's go ahead with that.
Right. Okay. You start now. You start.
Well, I actually found an article. Just comparing Samsung versus Apple. Very surprising results, though. Let me share the screen as well.
Who makes the better phone? Okay.
Yeah. So they have several metrics here. I mean, they've obviously compared like revenue. I mean, we'll not go into that. Revenue is it's obviously very much a fluctuating topic, but it seems that in different quarters, or like in this is 2020 fourth quarter, I think Apple has made more revenue, but 2019 Samsung has made more revenue. So it seems that Apple definitely had more sales in the last quarter of 2020.
Okay. Is that just so? Is it just phone sales, right? That's just phone sales.
It is just worldwide unit shipments right? Of smartphones.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Thousands in Q4. Yeah. And then Oppo, they just go ahead to okay, you were reading. Yeah. So.
No, that's fine. We can go ahead.
And I guess as a whole, like of course Xiaomi has higher after that, I guess, and then Oppo and Huawei. Yes, nothing, no other big names here, unfortunately.
Yeah, so it's like an American company, a Korean company, and Chinese companies. Chinese companies. Right?
Is Oppo Chinese or Indian?
No.
I'm not sure. Is it?
Okay, dude. Okay, so that's okay. You thinking that, right, is exactly what Oppo wants, right? That's exactly what Oppo wants. So they sponsor all the Indian events. They do all that, right? I mean, they do sponsor all that. They know their market properly.
I really thought Oppo was an Indian company.
So Oppo, I think same guys, right? So Oppo, OnePlus, and I can't remember the other one. I'm not sure which. Is it Realme? I'm not sure. So there are three companies. Let me just check that quickly. Oppo parent company. Oops, I'm actually running a stopwatch there. Give me 2 seconds. Oppo parent. Let's see what it says. Yeah, it's BBK Electronics. Sorry. So yeah, Vivo, Realme, Oppo, Vivo, OnePlus, and Realme. They're all sub brands of technically sub brands of Vivo, but they all fall under BBK Electronics.
Okay, so Vivo is the like kind of parent company or like of Oppo.
Yeah, sort of.
Okay, so I know Vivo is Chinese. I really thought Oppo was Indian. Well, they with their effort had like results then, of course.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm pretty sure even Indians thought Oppo was Indian. I have seen.
Definitely.
I mean, they were sponsoring everything, right? Like the IPL. I think at a point even the cricket team. I'm not sure exactly about that,
Yeah. I
but
think so.
not probably the cricket team, but at least the matches that they played in.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean, dude, they are all over the place, right?
Yeah.
So I mean that's why. So it's like this, right? So most of the Chinese companies, there's, I mean, they know that there's like a stigma towards my Chinese companies, right? So they try to hide it as much as possible.
Yes.
Sometimes try to sort of blend in, go under the radar. All that. That's why they all have these, other brands trying to sound a bit more, friendly. And I mean, they also have massive branding campaigns with familiar faces. Specifically, like if they're targeting India, they're gonna try with all the actresses, the Bollywood stars over there. Yeah. I mean, that's their strategy, right? They want to feel like it's a brand that they can relate to, and it's not like some guy who's trying to invade their country. I mean, not in a bad sense, but in the to come into the market like that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, especially in India, they're quite proud of what they produce in their country, right? That them the very that national pride is pretty much there. So I mean, having that and having brands like Micromax and Lava is other brand, right? Lava.
Yeah,
If
it's
I'm not
also there.
mistaken. So coming, I mean, I think those two brands, Micromax and Lava, were doing pretty well, right? I think
Yeah,
before
I think
Oppo and all the Chinese
to
players
some
came in.
extent we were importing Micromax phones back then. I think Dialog was doing Micromax.
Yeah.
With their deals or whatever, like with their connections, they gave Micromax phones. Yeah.
Right. So I mean, penetrating to a market like that, and I think or the top three, or at least the top five, the majority in the top five are Chinese brands, if I'm not mistaken, in India when it comes to phones. So
But I think,
Apple is nowhere. That's a
yeah.
fact. That's a fact. Apple is nowhere in the top five. I think not even in the top 10. But I mean, they're also trying to change that, right?
Yeah, they're trying
By
to change that.
reaching into India.
Yes. And a lot of companies are specifically putting out products for India. I think OnePlus.
Yeah.
Also with the new phone OnePlus 9, I think Pro, they have a OnePlus 9R, which is only for India. And I can't remember the exact.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, I can't
Oh,
remember
there is
the
a OnePlus,
specs of it, but it's a little cut down.
Okay.
And so
OnePlus 9R. That's interesting. Oh, that's the first time I'm hearing about the OnePlus 9R. No, but I mean, dude, like the OnePlus 9 looks really good. I like that phone.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I've always actually liked OnePlus, right? If I was switching to Android, I'd probably go with the OnePlus or maybe a Pixel, but not Samsung, of course not. So, but I mean, no, OnePlus does make really good phones. I mean, they have a. I mean, what do you call this? They have a philosophy, right? They try to follow that philosophy.
But they were
I mean,
supposed to be what is it, like flagship killer, but it's
now it's becoming a flagship, right? So
yeah.
you live long enough to be villain, I guess, right? You die a hero or live long enough to be the villain. So I'm guessing they're becoming
they
part
lived
of the
long
problem.
enough.
Yeah. So I think the first OnePlus phone came out when we were in uni, right? I think it was like 2014.
I can remember like the back of the phone, like the sandstone texture or whatever, and the phone was only like it was invite only. You couldn't buy it at that time. Can you remember?
Exactly. You couldn't just go and buy it. Yeah. It was invite only. So just like this exclusive club.
Yeah.
But then I guess they needed to make money and do all that. So yeah, I guess that's what happened to OnePlus. But I mean, still their phones are really good.
Regarding this, like the article that we were in, comparing Samsung and Apple, they say that the user experience of Apple and Samsung are similar. That's what they're saying. That it's 7 and 7 out of 10. And
I don't agree.
what do they say? We could argue about this all day long. But they say Samsung has made significant improvements with One UI 3.0.
I'll give them that, but I mean they're still behind. I mean, dude, like OnePlus, the OS Oxygen,
Yeah.
right? Oxygen OS, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's a much better executed OS in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. And it's so far closest to stock Android, I think.
Yeah, stock Android.
I can remember when OnePlus was coming with, I think it was a custom OS. What was this? I can't remember.
Cyanogen
Yes, Cynagenmod.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I used to download like the older phone that I had. I downloaded like an unofficial Cynagenmod Android version, and I rooted my phone with and installed this Cynagenmod version to my older phone, much older one. It was an HTC something back then. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, I
Incredible
remember
S.
that phone.
Incredible S. HTC Incredible S. Yeah.
I remember that phone.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, HTC made. I mean, okay, we'll not go there. But I just wanted to say this. I mean, HTC used to make some really good phones. I do
Yes,
not have
they went. I don't know. They got distracted, I guess. And
yeah.
now HTC, the phone business, it's owned by Google, I think.
Is it?
Or they shared some patents or something, because the Pixel 3 that I have now has. Can you remember, like the HTC phones came with this squeeze feature, which you can enable certain features by squeezing the phone. They have like a certain pressure sensor on both sides.
Yeah.
So the Google Pixel 3 and 3 XL, I think, came with this side, like the squeeze sensor or whatever. And they
okay
the right, I remember now. The phone was built by HTC, the Pixel, the 3 XL. They built the phone for them, for Google.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that's why they had the same technologies. This is what I remember.
Okay, interesting.
And then
Right.
the article again, they say that the industrial design and product durability is again a tie, but it's 9 and 9 for both phones. The design and product.
Yeah, durability. I mean, yeah, the design, Samsung design. I mean, it's pretty. I mean, forget about those. The design looks pretty good. I have to give them that. Yeah.
Then
design looks pretty good. I mean, iPhone. I like the new look of the iPhone 12.
Yes. I also like the boxy look. I prefer that look rather than the rounded edges, because I think the iPhone 4 was the same design.
4, yes. Yeah. So I think, in my opinion, iPhone 4, iPhone 5, even the iPhone SE, those have the best design. Those are the best designs all time.
Yeah.
I mean, for me at least.
Right? The rounded design, so it feels too similar to other phones. The rounded design.
Yes.
So this is more iPhone. Like, it feels like like you can recognize a phone like properly, like when you see an iPhone now with the design. Okay, product performance. They say Apple 9 and Samsung 8, but I'm also not. That's true. Obviously, Samsung puts a lot of high end, like the chipset and the devices.
Okay, I think I have a feeling why they put it at 8, right? So Samsung does this weird thing where so I think in the US they use a Qualcomm processor.
Yeah.
And outside the US they use an Exynos, which is their own in-house brand of processors that they have. And I think it was Mr. Who's the Boss who did this comparison. So he took the two phones, the Exynos one and the Qualcomm one, and found out that the performance difference was pretty significant. So was the battery. Of course, the processor difference would relate to the battery. Right? That's obvious. But I mean, they were selling two different phones because the processor difference was that big, right? I think they've caught up a bit. But yeah, I mean, I think still TSMC does a better job with the processor for Apple, I guess.
But I think Samsung also does processors for Apple. not completely by TSMC. Like TSMC also does it, but Samsung also builds some
Right.
processors. They have the fabrication plants they themselves.
Probably not the SoCs, right? Probably not the SoCs. Probably other stuff like other controllers and stuff. So the SoC like the A11, A14 is probably just done by TSMC, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe now it is. Maybe now it is. I actually saw. I'm not sure whether it's this article saying that Samsung is still
because why I said that was I think for the latest processors only TSMC has the technology. I think the 5 nanometer technology.
Okay. Here it is. It's here.
Yeah.
I think this article is. Let's see when this article was written. February 26th. And here it says supply chain integration, and they gave Samsung a 10 and Apple an 8. What they say is while Apple gets very high marks for supply chain management and sourcing components, not to mention that it's the chip design itself, it's no match for Samsung because it even has to rely on Samsung to provide parts for its products, which includes the OLED displays, NAND flash, and DRAM. Okay, not the
RAMs exactly. The RAM and the flash memory is done by because they are pretty good.
And the screen.
Samsung.
And the screen.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think OLED screens. Samsung has a monopoly on that, right? Almost. I think it's about.
I'm not
they
sure.
own about 80% of the production.
Probably. I mean, they started the OLED displays back then. I think the first OLED.
Okay. Let me.
Oh, this is okay.
That. No. So. So I wanted to talk about this. The first company to actually have a commercial OLED product with a significant screen size was actually Sony. Right? They had it was a TV, if I'm not mistaken. So this was in 2011, 2012 at that time. It was a small TV, right? So OLED TV, it was just 17 inches, right? 17 inches. At that time, it was pretty big, apparently. I don't know. And it cost around, I think, $1,200 at that time. So it's probably, no, I think even more. I'm not sure. Just quote me on that. But I mean, they were the pioneers in OLED technology. But for some reason, they couldn't really market it. At that time, the technology probably wasn't even advanced enough for it to sort of be fee because there were like burning issues and so many other complications. Although the black levels and all that was really good, right? The brightness wasn't really that great. I mean, the max brightness, the peak brightness, and all that wasn't really that great. And there were small issues like that, right? So, and the products that Sony put them on didn't really do it. So I think you had a camera, right? Alpha 55?
57, I think.
57? Yeah, 57, right? So that had a OLED back screen, right? If I'm not mistaken. So that screen was really good.
Not sure, but it was,
I think it was so most of that's the time when they used that OLED in their cameras mainly, right? In the viewfinder because they were sort of going in this phase of switching to mirrorless or translucent mirror technology. So I mean that's what they were chasing. They weren't really looking at this as a technology for displays. That's when sort of Samsung came in and sort of took this up and saw the opportunity and ramped up production in that area.
I guess this was kind of a payback for Sony. Have you heard about the story about the CD? How Sony, so the CD and DVD, I think the standards. It was set by Sony, right? For the CD.
Sony set. I'm not sure whether it's a CD. I think CD. So even Blu-ray, HD, DVD, definitely. That was Sony backing the Blu-ray, right? So Blu-ray is Sony's technology.
Yes.
I mean that was like a massive issue there because
this is
Sony
the main thing.
Sony, Blu-ray versus LCD. That's the latest thing. So the other ones, they're probably a bit less. People would have heard about it less because it was some time back, and they weren't really format was per se at that time. But the most prominent one, which is happening in 2000, again at the same time, right? Blu-ray was coming out at that time. We have an OLED TVs and all that were first done by Sony. That came out, and I mean, just Blu-ray just was much better technology than HD DVD.
What they did was
way better.
Again, another thing that they did was they set like their hardware standards to match Blu-ray, and they put out all the the Blu-ray readers out there much faster than HD DVD. So it's just
exactly
that's
so that's the time. Right? So Blu-ray. Before that, 2006. Sorry, that's when they launched the PS3 with an inbuilt Blu-ray player, right?
Is it 2006?
So
PS3.
Yeah, 2006. Yeah, man, 2006. Wow. I got a PS3 in 2006. I remember that. Really, after about 3 months after launch, I got a PS3. Oh man, those are the times. So yeah, that was a whole different. So I'll not get into that. But yeah, I mean that was a massive investment by Sony as well. So they had a few things going for it. They wanted to make it not just a gaming console, but a whole home entertainment thing. That's why the whole Blu-ray thing was included. But I mean, people bought it, but people bought another thing. So the rivals, Xbox, they had a DVD player, but that couldn't play any HD DVDs. You had to buy another additional part to sort of be able to play HD DVDs, right? And HD DVDs had like half the storage, and it was, I mean, there were the quality issues and all that, right? So, I mean, just died out. I think Toshiba was the one backing it, if I'm not mistaken.
Toshiba. I can't remember, but yeah, maybe.
HDD was Toshiba and Panasonic. So there were other guys, of course, but I mean, the main person who bought the technology was Toshiba and Sony from this end. So, yeah, I mean, Sony was a pretty innovative company. Their phones are, I don't know why Sony has like brilliant scientists but terrible marketers, in my opinion. They just suck at marketing sometimes.
I mean, right now, I guess they're doing okay, but definitely when you compare a company like Sony.
So just to tell one more thing. Sorry about that. Just tell one more thing, right? So currently, Sony buys the OLED panels from LG. They don't make their own OLED. So that's for the TVs, huh?
Okay.
They buy from LG. So because LG is like the second biggest manufacturer of OLED next to Samsung. So when I say second biggest, like they are like there's a massive gap between Samsung and LG. But they're the only other players in the market. Of course, Sony's TVs tend to be a bit better because of they have like massive experience in the whole
it's more
movie industry and all that.
That we have, I think, again, Sony has better
processing
hand in like processing and their software, while Samsung definitely has better panels now comparatively. Let's go into the Apple versus Samsung thing and finish it off, and then we can go into the next topic as well. So the next thing that they are comparing here is product integration. So obviously, definitely, Apple they have given Apple a 9.
Oh yeah, dude.
There's no discussion about product integration.
That's nothing to discuss about, right? Yeah.
Samsung tried to do this.
Easy.
Yeah.
So the thing is okay. Now I'll just give now. You would think it's just Apple ecosystem, right? I mean, this is just talking about the Apple ecosystem. That's what you would think, but it's actually not, right? It's more than that. When you, since I think we spoke about this in the last or the blog before that, the podcast. In the previous, not the early episode, the previous episode. What we talked about was, I mean, per given time, the number of iPhones are out, right? That really matters. It's going to be like 8 or like 10 max, right? So it's easy for.
Yeah, I can hear.
Yeah. So I mean, even for a third-party vendor, since the variation is very less, even for a third-party vendor, it's easy for them to create something for iPhone and actually make one thing, make money from it, right? And have it be compatible very easily, right? So be it if now iPhones sell in the millions, right? So if all the iPhones have Qi charging enabled, right? You can have tables with Qi chargers embedded and stuff like that, right? I mean, that's just one thing, right? So even when it comes to let's say, for example, Android Auto versus Apple CarPlay, that's what it's called, right? Yeah. I mean, there are some cars that only support Apple CarPlay, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just easier for them to just support Apple CarPlay, right? Now that trend is changing a bit because Android is trying to make getting into the infrastructure a bit easier. But still, since it's very easy for people to develop for iPhones, I mean, it's not just the ecosystem. It's just there are third parties coming in as well and trying to integrate. Right. The only thing I see, only advantage that I see Android has is that Google Home suite is probably much larger than what Apple has. Apple HomeKit supported devices and brands are a bit less.
And the AI,
not sure why that is, but
the AI that Google has is definitely much better.
Yeah, it's much better. So yeah,
Google has more data.
mining our data. Yeah, exactly. They have more data to work on, right?
Yeah.
So Apple, I don't know. That's the thing. So even Amazon, even Alexa is pretty good, right? Bixby, I'm not sure. Bixby is again Samsung. It's like not that good. So yeah, I guess that's it. That's the reason for that.
And then after that, they've rated end user support infrastructure. Apple a 9, Samsung a 7. I haven't been on end user support with Apple a lot. Probably you've had touch points with it. How is it?
Dude, like end user, okay. I mean, we were having a discussion. I think I'm not sure whether we had with a bunch of friends. It's just so easy, right? Apple just they don't look at warranties. They don't don't need a warranty card. You just hand in their device, right? If it has a warranty, they look at it. You don't have to worry about anything, right? Under Apple Care, of course, right? Under Apple Care, there is that's a whole different process, right? But I mean, they take care of it, right? And you don't need to worry about it too much. And even in Apple Store, the experience I haven't actually been to an Apple Store, but it's just I've spoken to people who have, but I mean, the experience is seamless, right? You just go in, you just pick something, and end to end, it's just it just happens, right? It's like someone takes care of you. Of course, there are limitations to that. It's very tightly monitored process. It's very efficient. It's very efficient at the cost of flexibility. Of course, that's there. So massive. If there's like a change in dynamics, it's a bit hard to change the process. That's there. But I mean, if it works, it works like flawlessly.
I mean, these guys are talking about that area after that in terms of platform openness and transparency. They give Apple a 2 and Samsung a 6.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's there, right? I mean, you can't. They still haven't. The only mobile device, if you can call iPad a mobile, yeah, you can probably device that has USB-C is the iPad, right? None of the iPhones have USB-C, which is like standard.
I hope they will in the next devices, but I don't know. They're being very stubborn on not removing it. But I feel they will directly remove the port rather than changing.
I mean, that's so Apple, right?
I feel that they'll go for wireless charging directly.
So that's why they brought in this whole
magnetic
MagSafe charger. MagSafe charger for the iPhone. iPhone 12. I mean, it's not even MagSafe. If you just pull it, it just comes with the phone.
But it's not MagSafe, and it damages the cover also. The metal. It damages the metal
because of the magnet.
Yeah,
the number of times you hit the
that's
number and
why they
the
released like
forcing
their
you on.
own phone covers as well to fix uh, the magnetic charger. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course,
Anyway, so that
they have a lot of issues in terms of repairability. Again, as you said, the devices are becoming more or less impossible to be repaired outside of Apple service centers now. They are, from what I've read,
so
there's this
about that,
YouTuber called Louis
I just
Rossmann.
want to add a point there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, but this is a bit of a delay.
No, go.
So why that is in my opinion, right? Okay, so now I think there's a repair limitation in the new. I think it's a 12, where you can't get to get a iPhone screen to replace a screen. You need a specific ID tag for that specific device. It has to come tagged to that device, right? The issue. Okay, now we think it's because they are trying to stop self-repairing and do all that, right? But there's a racket going on in China, right, where they put parts together in Shenzhen. I mean, dude, like, have you seen this video? There's this guy who goes to Shenzhen and makes an iPhone from scratch, an iPhone 6 from scratch. So he just goes out shopping, he buys all the parts he needs, and he makes an iPhone.
No, I haven't seen this though.
Right. Yeah, dude, you should watch that. That's you can actually do it, right? You can actually do it. So there are people like that who does what they do is there are two broken phones, right? Broken phones. They switch the parts. It works, but there might be some bugs, and they sort of sell it. It comes properly packed. They have the packaging material. They have everything, right? Send it out, and you get it, and you're like, oh, new iPhone, but it's actually not new. Right. I've heard of a lot of cases like that.
Probably, I mean, they're probably doing it because of that reason. Like I've been following.
Yeah.
Like I haven't watched any videos recently, but there's a YouTuber called Louis Rossmann. I think he's like a person who repairs like all kinds of devices in the US. I think he's situated in New York, but he's very famous for doing like he puts up videos on repairing certain issues on laptops, MacBooks as well. And he has been repairing like Apple devices for a long time. But like he explained how every part of the phone is being serialized now. So there's a serial number which is allocated for a part of the phone, which is connected to all the other devices. So let's say the logic board, the motherboard of the phone has a serial number. It's matched with the serial number of the screen. And you can't use a screen from a different device to, as you said, to replace the current screen on a phone. So like another guy actually took two brand new iPhones, replaced the two, like just shifted the two screens, and it showed a lot of errors, like the camera doesn't work or something like this. It gives a lot of errors. So I mean, from their point of view, of course, it's more safe for them, so that no one else can actually build their phones. So it's better for the company, of course. I mean, in that point of view, but in it makes sense in an economy, like in a very strong economy, in countries like, let's say, in Sri Lanka or in India. The reason why the phones are not going into the mass market is because of these issues. People can't repair the phones by themselves, or take it to like another person.
Because that same infrastructure that you might find in a country, in a developed country, does not exist, right? That's the main issue, right?
And the affordability is also low in our countries.
Yeah, that's also true. But I mean, even if you could afford it, you wouldn't go for it because of that whole issue, right? You have to be able to afford that as well as the infrastructure costs. Also, you have to be able to afford. That's my point. So because I mean, you either need to send it to Singapore to get it fixed or something. You need to bear that cost, right?
I mean, in Sri Lanka, there's nothing for you to do. Like even in Sweden, I think most of the devices are being sent out of Sweden. I don't think they have a, like, how do you call, the Apple Store in Sweden. but most of the devices are not being fixed there. They ship it out to another country, either UK or somewhere else, as far as I know. So maybe the smaller repairs they do, but most like if you want like a different, like definitely if you want, let's say a US keyboard or a British keyboard, like the in Sweden it comes with the Swedish keyboard. So if you want a different keyboard layout, you have to order something from a completely different country and get it shipped there to buy it from Sweden. So
What?
yeah, if
Okay.
I wanted a MacBook with an English, like a US keyboard, I can't get it in Sweden. I have to order through them to bring a MacBook with a US
Is it
keyboard.
the same price though?
Yeah, it's the same price as
It
in
is the same
Sweden,
price though.
as in Sweden.
Oh
So
right,
the
yeah,
price of
okay.
US,
I mean
yeah. So yeah,
that's okay.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So that
Okay.
happens. Yeah. So
So
they have pretty big
does that
control
settle
on
the
the.
Apple versus Samsung battle?
Yeah. Let's end the discussion about Apple versus Samsung or Android in general here, because it's kind of a
Yeah.
never-ending battle. And there's an advertisement we can talk about later, like which Intel did recently, hiring the.
Oh, dude, that
Uh,
was just lame, man. That was
yeah.
just lame.
Let's.
Dude, if Intel was okay, if Intel was at least good, if they were putting out good products, I wouldn't call it lame. But I mean, that's just lame, man. They put like shit products out. AMD is kicking their ass, Nvidia is
Yeah.
kicking their ass, Apple is kicking their ass, and
And
they're
they hired
like,
the Mac
okay, we are the
guy.
king. Yeah, hire the Mac guy. I mean, it's just so lame.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. So let's keep it at that, and let's move on to our next topic, which is it's a much like wider topic to discuss, more related to telecommunication areas. We will quickly go on with the topic about Huawei. So Huawei, they had a lot of restrictions coming up in the US, and also a lot of other countries because of different accusations. And recently, they've stated that they will be charging royalties or fees for 5G accessibility through their devices. So let me. I had an article for this as well.
or is it royalties for the modem, something like that, right?
Let me.
Was it royalties for
Let
the modem, something like that?
me check. Let's share the screen again. Huawei to start demanding 5G royalties from Apple, Samsung. It's like for the access
Because I think that
5G patents for
the
the
technology, right?
technology.
Patents, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So because I think because 5G, I think it came out from China, right? I think although people are talking about 5G everywhere, probably the leading players in 5G technology is probably Huawei, and probably the best is probably someone like Ericsson. Not sure even.
Ericsson
But
is
I
the
mean,
second.
Huawei is probably much better at this time because
They definitely have the lead.
Yeah.
And it's still very controversial. Even in Sweden, they banned Huawei products a few months before I came, or like a month or two before I came.
Oh.
For not products, no, like for 5G implementation, they how do you say, they put restrictions for all the networks to not use Huawei devices for the 5G implementation. But even companies like Ericsson said it's impossible for us to do it alone. We will definitely need to get the support of companies like Huawei to do our implementation. Like Ericsson said this to the government.
I mean, dude, Ericsson, I mean, compared to Huawei, Ericsson is pretty small, I think. No, they used to be massive. Before, because they used to be massive, because Ericsson had a monopoly in the 2G and 3G eras. But probably after 4G, they sort of switched, I guess, to China, because I mean they ramped up the production and they got the technology going, and all that they had some balls rolling from there, right? So I think that was also a strategic move, right? I mean, you're using Chinese technology for your next implementation of a mobile network. Right? I mean, that was probably one of their goals. They wanted to do it. That's why they focused on Huawei getting there, and they did. And the US bans them. Right? That's what. Apparently, it gives you.
I don't know how true the accusations are. Of course, we don't have. I would say we don't have any ability to check it ourselves and say like whether they spy on through their devices or not or whatever. But
okay, that's. I mean, rather than that, I mean, spying. Of course, I mean they can only say.
Everyone spies these days. Like,
who doesn't, right? But I mean, there were accusations that 5G was causing coronavirus or something, and they were burning down. That's just stupid, man.
But it's just propaganda at the end. Like mainly in the US, it's mainly propaganda, like for them. And they are trying to implement 5G on their own now. I don't know how.
Yeah.
But it's almost impossible without Huawei. If they want to implement it fast, the countries that are using, they will do it definitely much faster. I think Russia is accepting Huawei, so obviously they have connections. So they will obviously.
So, but 5G, the thing is, 5G also has some limitations, right? So the fastest network, so I think it's about 1 Gbp. That's what they're promising, at least. Those are achieved by the millimeter wave. Yeah, it's very close to fiber. So those are achieved by what's called like millimeter wave 5G. Right. So there are of course ranges in 5G as well, right? I'm not sure whether this is same with 4G, but I mean this has. So millimeter wave is like your it's for direct visual link. If you can see the antenna, you get really good speed, that sort of thing, right? But the moment you're covered, that just goes away. That connection just goes away. And the one above that, which is like the shorter wave, which is a longer wavelength 5G, but it's still shorter than 4G, is better than the millimeter wave. But of course, it also has limitations when it comes to range. So you'll see a lot more 5G antennas than 4G or 3G. Because the wavelength is shorter and you need to have it everywhere.
Have you seen routers, like Wi-Fi routers with 5G here in Sri Lanka? It's there, right? Like you have router. You have two capacities. That's not 5G. It's not 5G.
Two bandwidths.
It's
that's
gigahertz.
That's 5 gigahertz.
Yeah. Okay, it's just mistake. Okay. The surprising thing regarding Huawei's news was I was already assuming that they were charging a fee from all the companies for using their patents. I think every other company does that, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they should, right? I mean, they're making money. Were they that rich? Huawei? I don't know. Maybe they were
just to get the technology out.
Spread that. Yeah, probably. That's probably right. And now I think, dude, like when Apple goes 5G, as I said, the technology spreads very quickly, right? Because it's just you need to 5G. I mean, when you buy the phone itself, you have 5G. You might not buy it for the 5G, but you still sell like millions of units, and those million, like 20 million or whatever number of people, they have a phone with 5G capability, right? So then when you roll it out, there are devices waiting to receive 5G.
Yeah.
Right, so you can easily just connect to 5G. I don't know. That's how it works.
Well, hopefully, I mean, in Sri Lanka also, I'm not sure it's going to come very, very soon. But the TRC, they in the discussion or the video conversation that they had, the director, he said that they are planning to implement 5G soon, and they are holding trials these days with the service provider.
So yeah, I think Hutch did a trial recently. About a week back. Hutch did a trial. I think Hutch and Dialog are the guys in. I'm not sure about Mobitel though. Hutch and Dialog have started doing the trials at least.
Like even the country even doesn't have 4G coverage fully yet, so they need to finish that soon. Again, from what they said, they're planning to have 100% coverage by end of 2022.
So that's coverage with the quality included, right? So I think the plan is, so I mean, technically, according to the networks, the whole island is covered, right? But that's bullshit. I mean, come on, you go under I live in the center of Colombo and I don't get proper 4G. Right?
Exactly.
Everywhere. I mean, that's just bullshit, man. So imagine the people in, dude, like there. I mean, during COVID time and all these online classes happening, there were people actually going outside, like walking kilometers
To get
to
sick.
go to a place where you have 4G. I mean, while that is the dialogue to come and say we've covered the whole island, that's bullshit, man. That's
Yeah.
just stupid. So I think that's what I mean exactly. So they can say that and get away with it because there's no one to say. I mean, the commission should be saying, okay, no, you're not doing that. You can't say it because you have to have to be able to say that you need to have a minimum speed.
Yeah.
At every point, right? So I think that's what the TRC is
TRC.
pushing for, which is
Yeah.
actually good.
Quality of service.
I mean, that's what I commend them for that. Quality of service. I mean, yeah, 4G is good enough, right? I mean, you don't need 5G everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
4G, you can get a lot of stuff done with 4G, right? You don't need to watch educational videos in full 4K or anything, right? You can watch it in 480p. It's just fine,
Yeah.
right? I guess maybe HD, not even full HD, maybe HD,
720
but
is
still
good
it's
enough.
for HD streaming is 720 is good enough. So yeah, I mean that's there, and of course the big question. There are two big questions that people had. They've been asking for a long time. So I'll get to the first one. The whole unlimited internet thing, right?
Yeah.
We used to have that
Yeah.
back when
I also
ADSL was a thing.
I also had the same connection, like an unlimited connection, which was the 512 kbps unlimited connection.
Yeah. So that
Golden
was
times.
the golden times where we could do anything, no limits. So that. So I have a feeling it is offered by SLT, right? So they purposely slowed down the speeds of that connection and got people to switch to their. So I don't have proof for this, but I mean, it's not any
same person would do.
Yeah, I mean that's what you would do, right? Why the hell would you? It's like this, right? So they capped the speed anyway. I mean that was anyway they capped the speed, so they wouldn't
I was dragging as much as I can to not shift to.
Same here, man.
I was like probably at least 1.5 years, maybe even more. We were like, I can't remember how long. Like we dragged as much as we can not to shift to the new connection, so that it's we don't lose the unlimited internet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, they forced us to switch, right? So unfortunately.
And what they said about
that. So unlimited connections. Let's see. So what they're saying. So in any country, like most of the countries, any sort of like at least semi-developed, if you will, if that's even a thing, or developed country, they do have proper unlimited internet plans, right? I mean, you need to have unlimited. I'm not saying everyone should get an unlimited plan, but you need to have that as an offering, right?
Yeah.
That's technically a thing, right? Maybe that you can put in some fair usage policies. You want to use it for download and anything, right? So you can pay a fixed amount and not worry about the limit, download limit or whatever. So that's there. I think there is one unlimited package that I know of in Sri Lanka that is not specific to an app, right? So there are unlimited packages for Netflix, there's unlimited packages for YouTube, right? But technically that is also not unlimited, but I'll just get to it, right? So Hutch has a package where you can stream, but that's only for mobile. I mean, you can use a router and get it for Wi-Fi as well, but mainly for mobile. Unlimited, you get 25 Mbps download, and I can't remember the upload speed. It works until 40 GB.
Okay.
Right?
And then
so for 40 GB, you get that speed. After that, they downgrade the speed, but you still have it. The speed downgrade is about 2 or 1.5 or 2 Mbps, which is still okay.
Yeah, it's still okay.
Like I mean, you can browse. It's not like you can't do anything. You can still do something, right? Yeah, it's a 60. Oh yeah, oh my god, it's a 64K. Man. Like the SLT. Once you reach the limit, like 64K, no internet.
Yeah. I recently I found it today. I went to the TRC website, like just to check stuff for for the podcast today, and I found out that Mobitel also has an unlimited package. It's somewhere around 4,000 rupees per
Oh,
month, and they
wait,
give
is it this Mobitel Master Unlimited Data? Is it that
not
one?
sure, maybe it has a amount of
Okay.
data per day that you are allowed to use. I think 5 GB per
Oh
day.
right, yeah.
Is it?
1.5. So it's I think I'm looking at it right now. It's called the Master Unlimited package. It's a postpaid package.
Maybe it's 5 GB
Postpaid
per
package.
day,
Blah blah blah.
and when you
It's 1.5 GB per day.
no
1.5 GB per
really,
day.
let me check.
Is it 5? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's another package unlimited. And no, it's this.
Because
Master Unlimited
there are a
package.
lot of packages
Blah
that
blah
we are
blah.
not aware of, which are not being how do you say promoted by
Advertised.
yes.
Exactly.
I went to the TRC site and I saw the packages that they took permission for, and that has been
Oh,
passed,
dude.
and it's much more than what we know, than what they're promoting.
We should promote that, man.
So
That's like,
let me share the screen again. So
my
so
God.
this is the TRC website. It's very
Okay.
2000
It looks like shit, but yeah.
before that.
No
And
offense, man, but you can
th-
probably use
there's
the
a
website, but yeah, just do your thing.
there's an area called tariffs here on the left side. When you go to tariffs, there's they have all the providers here, and like
Mm-hmm.
fixed mobile providers and fixed operators, everything. And you can go and click and
Isn't
see
it?
what kind of packages or services that they have approved. So you can see here, this is Mobitel, and Mobitel has content-based packages which they approved on this date, and there is an expiry date as well. But I think all the packages are
Shit.
still active. Like all these Mobitel packages are supposed to
Wow.
expire by December 2020, like before December 2020, most of them, and all of them are still active right now, as far as I know.
Uh-huh.
So if I go to let's say streaming and data packages,
Oh.
in streaming and data packages, you can see the first YouTube plan that is usually that's there right now. So for 249 rupees, you
Uh-huh.
have unlimited YouTube at like 1 Mbps 360p. But for 4G people, you get 25
Mm-hmm.
GB unrestricted quality, only like 25 GB unrestricted, and after that it's 360p. So this is the package that I'm using right now. But for this also,
Mm-hmm.
even if you don't view 720p or like HD, like above 360p videos, the data is cut down. I don't know how it's going down. I should probably contact them and ask like how it's going on. I haven't played any
What?
HD content like within the like after I activated the package, but it's still the HD quota goes down automatically or somehow. I don't know how it happens. Maybe because I'm using
Oh no,
maybe
no, no.
because I'm using a higher speed.
It says unrestricted, right? It says unrestricted. So it says up to 20 GB unrestricted. So
Yeah,
Masang, even if you watch it at 360, it's gonna cut off, right? I mean, it
yeah.
doesn't say
Maybe it's because I'm using above 1 Mbps. So the speed.
right.
Yeah, so it's cutting down. But like 25 GB
Okay.
at 360p is enough for me for 1 month, so I don't have any issues. But after that, they have a lot of other packages which we are not aware of. So there's a package. Maybe these are for postpaid connections, but they have these
Yeah,
packages
could
here
be.
as well. And then the last one is the unlimited data plan. So it's maybe this is not there right now. Maybe it's they have like only the 1.5 GB is available now. So here they say 0 to 5 GB daily, no speed throttling. You can use up to 5 GB per day. After 5 GB, it's 1
So I think
Mbps.
this is a new package, Masang. Monthly rental
Maybe
is 4,000 something.
4,000. Yeah.
Okay, no speed throttling. Above daily speed throttle to 1 Mbps. Okay. Okay, that's actually not a. I mean, this is something. This is some sort of
Yeah.
better deal, right?
Yeah, but for torrent downloads, it's like so at 512 kbps. They are killing.
Dude, it's like this, right? I mean, yeah,
I mean, it
they're
makes sense.
killing
It
off the
makes
torrent
sense.
guys.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Like they're trying to kick down piracy. Also, it's anyway not allowed, so they can do it. No one can question this. But there are methods to get torrents as not torrents, so there are workarounds.
Yeah. Let's not talk about that. I don't want to get this red flagged.
Yeah. So let's not talk about them as okay, done. So they have a lot of packages like this which are not publicized, but people need to know, I guess.
Wow.
And apparently they have actually done a survey, a general public survey on the next topic that we are going to get into. Maybe you can talk about that as well. So the next topic that we're going to get into is about SIM portability. So this is something that the TRC said that they're going to implement by October this year, I think. SIM portability is basically the the ability of you to go to a different.
Just FYI, guys. There is no technical limitation for this, right? I asked a few telecom engineers. There is no technical limitation for this. It's just that I mean,
it's just
it's just the guys. I mean, all the that's probably there's probably some firmware updates or something like that because it's not built in. But I mean, the physical hardware doesn't have any limitations to that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like they apparently has released a survey for the general public. For anyone interested, you can. It's here, I think, where it's So public consultation paper on implementation of number portability. So they have actually released a set of questions for people. If you want to go through this, you can answer and send it to them before 12th of February 2021. So it's already done. But they never released it out to the public. Maybe they mentioned it on their Twitter or Facebook, but how many people follow them on Twitter or Facebook? So you can actually give input saying, okay, these are the. So let's go to the English version of the consultation paper. So they talk about what are the issues right now. So like the types of number portability, how they are going to implement number portability, like there's indirect routing or direct routing, these kind of the technical things also they discuss in this paper. And for anyone interested, you can go and give suggestions. And they are, from my opinion, presenting challenges where there are no challenges as well. Like you said, they're building problems out of thin air.
Out of thin air, yeah.
So let me.
So it's like this, right? So you need to what the matter is. It's technical details. When I say technical, I mean the hardware. Of course, tariffs is going to be a major issue, right?
Yes.
How is that going to work out?
Because no one's going to know which network they're calling after this. So
exactly.
That they put here in this document is to put an automatic recording saying you're calling a different network, so that people know that they are calling a different network, so that the charges doesn't have to be changed. So there's a suggestion like that in this paper. But technically, they have to have similar charges for any call or any SMS to implement this. Yeah. This is my belief. And this is
another reason why I say it's just technical, right? I mean, technically, number portability technically happened when Hutch bought Etisalat, right?
Exactly.
So I'm still using a North 72 number. It says Hutch, and I didn't do anything. I didn't change the SIM. I didn't do anything. It just says Hutch now. That's it. I mean, there's no issue, man. It's just money, and the whole. It's mainly the two main players, which I'm not gonna name.
Which everyone knows.
I don't need to name it. Which everyone knows about. They have the most to lose, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have the most to lose.
Exactly.
I mean, they have the most to lose if they, because I mean, it's about, then it becomes about not a number. It becomes about giving the best service.
Yes.
Right.
They will create actual competition. This will create actual competition when they give this feature. I mean, TRC says that they want to create this, but to which extent, not sure. Because there are questions that they're asking here in this paper, right? Questions on porting and like who is going to bear the cost of switching the number? Also, is a question that they're asking. Should the customer bear the cost of switching the number, or should let's say the company getting the benefit of switching bear the cost of the switching? Obviously there's not a lot of cost involved here. It's not a very huge cost, like in a technical point of view. Like we've also been in, to a certain extent in software development or like technical areas, and like this definitely doesn't need a huge setup installation or like different hardware to be installed for someone's number to be changed. It's some software,
it's just a matter of
a different bit of routing there, like that's all. So
right.
they're discussing how to where to put the cost, and they're also trying to put limitations on how many times a number can be changed by a person, like in a duration. That makes sense because maybe there's a lot of identification based regulations in Sri Lanka, like when you buy a phone number, you are being registered like by your ID and your photo and everything. So these kind of information, how to push them to another network, or like who has this information, these things, I probably think some kind of cooperation needs to happen, and maybe this is where they need to settle the issues.
Right.
Also, I mean, this issue is similar to what do you call the problem with the banking industry as well, which is something which we can talk sometime later, where the
transactions across banks, right?
The open banking system, which is being implemented in Sri Lanka for 5-6 years now, which is not happening at the moment.
I mean, that doesn't happen.
Okay, so these are the things that has been happening in the
our day to day.
Yes, telecommunication industry plus day to day stuff. We'll how do you say? Mostly, I hope that these technologies will be implemented pretty soon, rather than going into a lot of problems. There's also obviously some other discussions such as Starlink, which we can think about, but again, it's a messy topic with Starlink as well, regarding bringing in another telco technically to Sri Lanka, which people.
Okay. I want to see how the big players react to that.
It seems that like the TRC director said that they are open to positive discussions from Starlink, but he might not directly go into implementation, from what I understood. So let's hope these kind of technologies will be implemented pretty soon. We were expecting to go into some Reddit as well, but it seems we are running out of time today also. So maybe next
1 hour, right?
So maybe next week we can move into some Reddit topics.
Next week we could probably do a Reddit topic, I guess.
Maybe let's
we'll probably do that.
Exactly. Let's go into Reddit and let's do some random Reddit topics without that much preparation next week. So okay. Then we'll end the episode for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the discussion. If there are any suggestions that you have, you can put it in the comments, or let us know on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, any one of the platforms that you are checking these podcasts from. Listen to us on the podcast applications if you're an audio only listener as well. We are on Spotify and Google Podcasts. So our episodes will be releasing there as well. So that's it. And Chantika, do you have anything before we close the discussion today?
All good. I'm just hoping for the unlimited networks, man. That's supposed to come in April, end of April, beginning of April. I'm not sure.
I just hope that they're not like shit expensive. I hope. I feel it's gonna go 8,000 above. This is my gut feeling. I feel it's gonna go.
No, I don't think they'll put it that high. They'll probably have it like around 4,000 plus. They'll have it at least 4,000 plus.
Let's hope
they will have that 4,000. Yeah.
Let's hope 4,000 plus. My gut says it's 8,000. Like true unlimited, it's gonna go 8,000 plus. But hopefully not. So wishing for the best. And with that, we'll end the discussion and the podcast today. Thank you very much for listening.